To watch these important lessons, subscribe to DP Education's YouTube channel right now. Click on the bell icon to stay updated on the latest lessons. Sri Lanka's largest free online school, DP Education.
So, my dear children, in the earlier chapter, we discussed several MCQ questions related to the extra questions in our Biosphere lesson. So, here we are going to study about, or we are going to answer some questions related to the Biosphere lesson. So, these types are essay type questions then. So, let's see what are the questions given. So, the second type of question, write the correct answers. So, first of all, you have to define the given terms. Carbon footprint. Very simple, my dear children. Carbon footprint. You know that carbon footprint is the amount of CO2 produced by a certain product or individual in a given period of time. So, this is what do you mean by carbon footprint? Amount of carbon dioxide produced by a certain product or individual in a given period of time. Okay. So, released is also okay. Produced is also okay. No problem. Right. Then the next one, water footprint. Amount of fresh water used by a certain product during production. So, amount of fresh water used by a certain product during production, right? So, this is what do you mean by water footprint? Water footprint, amount of fresh water used by a certain product during production. Next one, food mile, right? Food mile. So, food mile means, my dear children, distance by which or distance which a food item traveled from producer to consumer. So, distance which a food item traveled from producer to consumer. This is what do you mean by the food mile, my dear children. Distance which a food item traveled from producer to consumer. So, carbon footprint, amount of carbon dioxide produced by a certain product or individual in a given period of time. Water footprint, amount of fresh water used by a certain product during the production. Food mile, distance which a food item traveled from producer to consumer. Next one, greenhouse effect. So, re-radiation of sunlight or solar power, or else we can give as solar energy. That's more perfect, no? Re-radiation of solar energy again to the surface of the earth by greenhouse gases. Right? So, re-radiation of solar energy again to the surface of the earth by greenhouse gases is called as the greenhouse effect. Global warming. Very simple, my dear children. Global warming is increasing average temperature of the planet Earth. This is what do you mean by global warming. Here, the average temperature of the planet Earth is going to increase. Okay, global warming. Next one, greenhouse gases. So, gases that can absorb solar radiation. And gases that can absorb solar radiation and that can reflect back to the earth. So, greenhouse effect, re-radiation of solar energy again to the surface of the earth by greenhouse gases. Global warming, increase in average temperature of the planet Earth. Global warming. Greenhouse gases, gases that can absorb solar radiation and that can reflect back to the earth. Okay, so gases that can absorb solar radiation and can reflect back to the earth. Okay, I'll mention as can reflect. It's more simple, no? So these are the greenhouse gases, gases that can absorb solar radiation and can reflect back to the earth. Okay, so this is greenhouse. These are the greenhouse gases. Okay, if you want for examples like sulfur dioxide, methane, then ozone are examples. Okay, right. So the next one, question number 2. Write 2 gases which contribute for acid rains. 2 gases which contribute for acid rain. Sulfur dioxide, right? Sulfur dioxide. SO2. Then oxides of nitrogen, like nitrogen dioxide, Okay. So sulfur dioxide and oxides of nitrogen like NO2, nitrogen dioxide. Okay. Two gases that contribute for acid rains, my dear children. So here sulfur dioxide, it creates sulfuric acid. Oxides of nitrogen creates nitric acid. Next one. Mention two gases that contribute for global warming through greenhouse effect. Two gases that contribute for global warming through greenhouse effect. Carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, water vapor. These things are correct. Okay. Gases that can contribute for global warming through the greenhouse effect. So carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, water vapor are examples. Right. Mention three bad effects of greenhouse effect. Three bad effects of greenhouse effect. Number one, spread of diseases. Right? Like cataract and skin cancers. So I'll mention one example, skin cancer. Right? So mention three bad effects of greenhouse effect, right? So greenhouse effect. It's not mentioned about the global, ozone layer depletion, no. So here they are asking about the greenhouse effect. Okay, greenhouse effect. That means, my dear children, re-radiation of the solar radiation or else solar energy. So over there, diseases can spread. That is for sure, no problem. Especially these diseases are like cancers, then mutations, then cataract, and those kinds of diseases because of the radiation which is coming towards the planet Earth. Okay, so next one, number two. Number two, second one, increase of global temperature. Increase of global temperature is also a problem, my dear children. Right? Increase of global temperature. Then number three, melting of polar ice caps. That means glaciers, right? So melting of glaciers or polar ice caps is also another bad effect of greenhouse effect. So actually this thing is happening because of the increasement of global temperature, and also because of increasement of global temperature, several diseases may spread. Okay, right. Next one, mention two substances that contribute for eutrophication. Two substances that can contribute for eutrophication. Two substances. So you can write soap, then detergents, right? Then household waste, these substances mainly promote the eutrophication. Okay, soap, detergents, and household waste. Right. The next question then, mention two gases that create photochemical smoke. Photochemical smoke. Unburnt So here they are mentioning about two gases, right? So we won't be able to write down unburned carbon particles because it is a particle in nature, no? So nitrogen dioxide, right? NO2. Then oxides of nitrogen are the main reason, my dear children, right? Oxides of nitrogen. Then unburned carbon particles, unburned fuel particles, okay? So first one is nitrogen dioxide, my dear children, one component of oxides in nitrogen. Then the second one would be another oxide of nitrogen is nitric oxide, very unstable gas, oxide of nitrogen, NO. So nitrogen dioxide and nitric oxide, two gases that promote the photochemical smog. Next one. State the three main methods of nitrogen fixation in biosphere. Three main methods of nitrogen fixation. Biological fixation, industrial fixation. Then number 3, atmospheric fixation. The three methods of nitrogen fixation: biological fixation, industrial fixation, atmospheric fixation. The three methods of nitrogen fixation in atmosphere, okay, or in our biosphere. Right, the next question number 8. Mention two nuclear fuels. Uranium, plutonium. Uranium and plutonium are two different fuels that we can use in nuclear power plants and nuclear bombs, my dear children. Okay, so main nuclear fuels, uranium and plutonium. Okay, right. Explain what are POPs. Provide two examples. Persistent organic pollutants. This is what do you mean by POPs, right? Persistent organic, right? Persistent organic pollutants. Right? Persistent organic pollutants are called as POPs. Examples: furan, DDT, right? These things are considered as persistent organic pollutants, okay? Furan and DDT. So, POPs are persistent organic pollutants, my dear children, okay? Then the next question. Mention 3 diseases caused due to overuse of food additives. Overuse of food additives. 3 diseases, right? Number 1. So you have to write down 3 diseases caused due to overuse of food additives. So when you use food additives overly, what are the diseases which is getting caused? Okay, mainly, my dear children, non-contagious diseases like cancers, heart attacks, diabetes, right? So heart attacks. Then cancers. gastritis because of excess oil and excess acidic and spicy food. Okay, so heart attacks, cancers, gastritis. Other than that, my dear children, some allergies can also happen, different kinds of allergies. Then you know, sometimes stomach aches. Okay, then vomiting kinds of conditions, nausea, all of these things can happen. Okay, right. Next one, right? Two medicines that can be used as antacids with their chemical formula. Antacids. So, two medicines that can be used as antacids with their chemical formula. All will write down as the common name first. Milk of magnesia. Magnesium hydroxide, my dear children. Magnesium hydroxide. Milk of magnesia. Then aluminium hydroxide. ALOH thrice. Valency of aluminium is 3, no? So, ALOH thrice. So, milk of magnesia or else magnesium hydroxide and aluminium hydroxide are the two main substances that can be used as antacids. Okay? And here are the chemical formulas. Right. Explain why artificial disinfectants are not suitable for cleaning toilets. So, why artificial disinfectants are not suitable for cleaning toilets? Because, my dear children, artificial disinfectants has the ability to destroy favorable microorganisms that can decompose fecal matter. So, decomposing fecal matter will take much longer time than the expected. So, it is a disadvantage, right? So, we can write the answer. Artificial disinfectants has the ability to destroy microorganisms that can decompose waste matter, right? So, artificial disinfectants has the ability to destroy microorganisms that can decompose waste matter. Therefore, decomposing will take long time. So, my dear children, artificial disinfectants has the ability to destroy microorganisms that can decompose waste matter. So, therefore, what will happen? Decomposing will take much longer time. Okay. Next one, mention two natural cosmetic items which used during ancient times. Two natural cosmetic items which used during the ancient time. So, sandalwood, my dear children, is a good example. Sandalwood. Then turmeric. Even for these days, we use turmeric powder, right? And turmeric, that turmeric stem, right? That it is an underground stem. So we can crush this underground stem and we can apply in our faces. Not actually we, but more of women are the ones who are going to use it. So sandalwood, then turmeric are two cosmetic items which used during the ancient time period. Okay, right. Next one, question number 15 then. Explain why the growth curve of human population takes a J shape. So why does the growth curve of human population takes a J shape, my dear children? Because now we are at the human population now at the exponential phase, which means, my dear children, still the human population is showing high growth rate. So that is why our growth curve is at the J shape. So we can write the answer. Human growth curve is still in second phase right under the high growth rate phase. So human growth curve is still in second phase under the high growth rate phase. Therefore it takes shape, J shape. Okay, right. So human growth curve is still in the second phase, which is under the high growth rate phase. So therefore it takes a J shape. Okay, right. Next question, question number 15. Explain why some artificial creams are not suitable to apply on face. Why some artificial creams are not suitable to apply on face? It's because, my dear children, some artificial creams contain toxic substances like mercury, right? Therefore, they are not suitable to apply on our faces, right? So we can write the answer. Some artificial creams contain heavy metals like mercury. Therefore, of these compounds, application of these creams, right, will create health problems. So my dear children, some artificial creams contain heavy metals like mercury. Therefore, application of these creams will create health problems, right? So this is why it's harmful to apply some artificial creams, right? So we have to be very careful when we are using different kinds of artificial creams. Okay, my dear children? Right. Question number 16 then. Name 3 main components that can be identified in a paint. 3 main components identified in a paint. Number 1, the binder, right? Binder. Binder is the one which holds pigments together. So, second one would be pigment, the coloring agent. Number 3, the vehicle. This is the one which used to dissolve this paint. Okay. Vehicle, pigment and the binder. 3 main components contained within a paint. Next one. Write 2 harmful gases that will emit due to combustion of fossil fuel. 2 harmful gases that will emit due to combustion of fossil fuel. So, number 1, due to combustion of fossil fuel, my dear children, you know that definitely sulfur dioxide gas can emit. Okay, because fossil fuel contains sulfur, so therefore it has the ability to release sulfur dioxide gas. SO2, sulfur dioxide. Then, because of unburned carbon particles, carbon monoxide gas can also emit to the environment. So, carbon monoxide is also very harmful because it is a highly toxic gas, my dear children. Carbon monoxide, right? And sulfur dioxide, you know, sulfur dioxide is also highly toxic because it can enter the environment and create acid rains. Okay, right. So, carbon monoxide and sulfur dioxide. Why we won't be able to write down carbon dioxide gas over here? Because, my dear children, carbon dioxide gas is actually it is harmful, but however, in order to be harmful, carbon dioxide should be at a greater percentages. Carbon dioxide is also useful for our biosphere, no, because plants carry out photosynthesis by carbon dioxide, no. However, these gases are somewhat dangerous than that. That's why I haven't mentioned carbon dioxide in here. Okay, right. Next one. Mention 5 ill effects of environmental pollution. 5 ill effects of environmental pollution. So there are different ill effects, my dear children. Okay. So you have to mention only 5 here. Let's see. Number 1. Global warming. Global warming. Then ozone layer depletion. Ozone layer depletion, right? Number 3, melting of polar ice caps. Melting of polar ice caps. Number 4. Spread of diseases. Spread of diseases. Number 5. Reduction in biodiversity. So I have mentioned several direct ones and indirect ones. So you know that global warming, on ozone layer depletion, and melting of polar ice caps are somewhat directly related, or they show a direct relationship between environment pollution. Okay, they are direct impacts. Spread of diseases and reduction in biodiversity are somewhat indirect impacts, my dear children. So I have mentioned both direct and indirect impacts regarding to environment pollution over here. Okay, right. So global warming, ozone layer depletion, melting of polar ice caps, spread of diseases, and reduction in biodiversity, right? Ill effects of environmental pollution, right? Next one. Mention 3 ill effects of ozone layer depletion. So, ozone layer depletion, 3 ill effects. Number 1. Causing diseases, right? Causing diseases. Example, skin cancers. Skin cancers can create because upon ozone layer depletion, you know that harmful ultraviolet rays will come and hit on the planet Earth. Okay, exposure to these rays will create skin cancers. Next one. Number 2, global warming. Global warming, because high solar radiation that has high amount of energy will come and hit on the planet Earth, will increase the temperature of the planet Earth, then giving out global warming. Next one. Number 3, so it affects the plant growth and harvest, because it is going to affect the photosynthesis process. Okay, so causing diseases like skin cancers and cataract, then global warming, and it is going to affect the plant growth and plant harvest, mainly because of it is going to affect with the photosynthesis process, my dear children. Okay, so 3 ill effects of ozone layer depletion. Right, next one. Explain what biomagnification is. Biomagnification, so accumulation of or collection of toxic substances from one trophic level to another trophic level along food chains. This is what do you mean by biomagnification, right? So we can write the answer. Collection of toxic substances from collection of toxic substances from one trophic level to another trophic level along a food chain. So collection or accumulation of toxic substances from one trophic level to another trophic level along food chain is called biomagnification. Okay, biomagnification. Next one. Mention 3 features of bioaccumulated substances. 3 features of bioaccumulated substances. So here, these things. Toxicity. So, highly toxic. Then next one. Can pass from one trophic level to another. Right? See? Can pass from one trophic level to another. Right? So can pass from one trophic level to another. The next one, number 3, third one, bioaccumulated substance, right? You know that these bioaccumulated substances are getting dissolved in our fat. Okay, so fat soluble. These are fat soluble substances. That is why these things are very toxic for us. Okay, so being highly toxic and can pass from one trophic level to another, and fat soluble are features of bioaccumulated substances, right? Question number 22 then. Write 3 factors that affect the lifestyle of human. 3 factors that affects the lifestyle of human. Right. Number 1. Urbanization. Industrialization. Number 3. Commercial agriculture. So urbanization, industrialization and commercial agriculture are the 3 factors that affects the lifestyle of human beings. Okay, so the factors that affects the lifestyle of human: urbanization, industrialization, and commercial agriculture, right? So urbanization, industrialization and commercial agriculture, all of these factors would change our lifestyle. Okay, next one. Mention 3 problems that arise due to changes in lifestyle. Problems that arise due to change in lifestyle. Number 1, causing diseases, right? Causing diseases. What are the examples? Heart diseases, diabetes, cancers, those things are correct. Next one, mental stress, right? Or else high workload. and because of that, mental stress, high workload, mental stress, right, are three problems that arise due to changes in lifestyle. So, causing diseases, high workload, and mental stress. Always, my dear children, now these questions which are coming from the biosphere lesson are quite easy to answer. It's because you have to just think and write the answer. You just can think and write down the answer, because these things are theoretically related. So there are some certain things which are theoretically related, but however, most of the things, if you have the general knowledge, then you just can think and write down the answer without any trouble. Okay, so here now problems that arise due to change in the lifestyle of human beings can write we can write like these answers, right? It's not going to be a problem over there. Other than that, there are other different things as well, but however, always try to write down simple answers. By that way you can score well, right? So here, causing diseases like heart diseases, high workload, and mental stress are some problems arise due to changes in lifestyle. Okay, right. Then the next question, write three causes for renal failure. Three causes for renal failure, right? So number one, usage of alcohol, right? Usage of alcohol. Number two, not drinking enough water. Right? Not drinking enough water. Number three, infections. Infections. So these are some causes for renal failure, my dear children. Next one, mention three symptoms of renal failure. Three symptoms of renal failure. Number one, swelling. Swelling of soles, right? Swelling of soles. Then number two, back pain. Back pain, right? That means, my dear children, when you place your hands like this is our back, no? So back will ache and pain, right? Next one, less or no urine production. Less or no urine production. So these are symptoms of renal failure. Swelling of soles, back pain, less or no urine production. Right then, question number 26. Write three factors that have been identified to be contributing to CKD, chronic kidney disease. Okay. Right. Number one, usage of agrochemicals. Number two, drinking cool water. consuming food additives. Consuming food additives, right? So usage of agrochemicals, drinking cool water, consuming food additives, right? I'll mention as artificial food additives. Artificial food additives. So these are some reasons for CKD or else chronic kidney disease. Usage of agrochemicals, drinking cool water and consuming artificial food additives are some factors that have been identified to be contributing to CKD, my dear children. Okay, chronic kidney disease. Next one. Mention 5 measures that can be taken to avoid CKD. 5 measures that can be taken to avoid CKD. 5 measures. So you have write down 5 things which you can follow to avoid CKD. Right. So we'll write down number 1. Drinking enough water. Right? Drinking enough water. Number 2. Minimizing usage of agrochemicals. Minimizing usage of agrochemicals. Number 3. Avoid using liquor. Avoid using liquor. Peaceful mindset. Right? Peaceful mindset. Number 5. Consuming clean, pure water. Right? Consuming clean, pure water. No matter how much that you are going to drink water, it's not suitable if they are not clean and pure. Okay, so we need to drink enough water. However, we have to consume clean and pure water. So drinking enough water, minimizing usage of agrochemicals, avoid using liquor, peaceful mindset, because stressful mind can also create different kinds of diseases. You already know that, right? So, and consuming clean, pure water are some measures that can be taken to avoid CKD or chronic kidney disease. Right. 3 sustainable agricultural practices. Right. 3 sustainable agricultural practices. Let's see. Number 1. Using rainwater as much as possible. Using rainwater as much as possible. Number 1. Number 2, second one, using organic fertilizer. Using organic fertilizer. Number 3, right, using organic fertilizer. Then number 3, multiple cropping. Other than that, my dear children, using biopesticides, right? Like that way there are different and application of traditional knowledge. Okay, like that way there are different kinds of things which we can practice out in order to do sustainable agriculture. Okay, so here using rainwater as much as possible, using organic fertilizer, multiple cropping are some practices that can be followed to maintain sustainable agricultural practices. Okay, next one, mention 3 traditional varieties of paddy and a special function. 3 traditional varieties of paddy with a special function. Okay, so there are several traditional varieties of paddy. So I'll mention 3. Mavi, Suvandel, Kaluhinati. Okay, 3 types of traditional varieties of paddy. Now the functions, right? Number 1, Mavi. So prevent skin diseases, right? Prevent skin diseases. Then Suvandel, prevent eye diseases, right? Then Kaluhinati, prevent constipation, prevent constipation. So here Mavi prevent skin diseases means actually it keeps our skin healthy. Okay, then next one, Suvandel, prevent eye diseases. Then Kaluhinati, prevent constipation, right? Prevents the constipation, right? Then the next one, write 5 practices which contribute for sustainable use of the natural resources. 5 practices which contribute for the sustainable use of the natural resources, right? We'll write down then. Number 1, using water economically. Using water economically. Number 2, using organic fertilizer. Using organic fertilizer. Number 3, collecting rainwater. Number 4, crop rotation, comma, multiple cropping. Crop rotation and multiple cropping. Number 5, crop rotation and multiple cropping. Number 5, using electricity economically. So these things we can think and write, my dear children, very easily, right? So sustainable use of natural resources, you can just think and write, right? Using water economically, okay? Then using organic fertilizer, then collecting rainwater as much as possible, then crop rotation and multiple cropping. Crop rotation means, my dear children, here within one season we are going to rotate few crops. Rotate means actually we are going to cultivate 2 or 3 crops, okay, within the same land, right, in a certain season. For one particular time period, one crop, then next particular time period another crop, and again another crop. So within a certain time, within a certain year, like for a 1 quarter, we are going to harvest 2 or 3 different kinds of crops. Crop rotation. Then multiple cropping, I think you have heard about the multiple cropping, right? Then using electricity economically, okay? These things are, right, some sustainable methods of using natural resources, right? So my dear children, within this question we have answered 30 essay type questions. We wrote the answers over here. So in our next chapter we'll focus some even more questions related to the biosphere lesson, okay? Over there we'll be discussing about several other types of questions which can come across with biosphere lesson part, okay? Right then, so I'll meet you with the next chapter to discuss our final stage of the extra questions.
To watch these important lessons, subscribe to DP Education's YouTube channel right now. Click on the bell icon to stay updated on the latest lessons. Sri Lanka's largest free online school, DP Education.